What the is going on? We got the GOAT, the legend, the father of freestyle rap. And when I say freestyle, I mean freestyle in the moment, off the top of the brain. We got to start this one with a freestyle. Supernat, MC Supernatural, you ready?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Let's go. First time freestyling to the word generator. What the
Let's go. I've been waiting to do this for a long time, y'all. Let's get it in real quick. See these words. Now, every time that I get busy, and when I'm on the mic, I bet you asking who is he, there's no need to ask. Yeah, I'm starting to get looser. Now Supernatural rock rhymes and also a producer. I chop beats in 16 bars, I make them hard. I tell you what, I grab the mic and leave it scarred. And anytime I do it, your brother, the style and Pharaoh, it's like Donkey Kong when he's rolling a barrel. Anytime that I do it, yo, I bomb fools. And if you playing with matches, it's like playing with me, it's harmful. Yeah, keep on twisting. When I bomb shit, I turn on YouTube and I see a lot of nonsense. Yeah, I'm an intellectual. A lot of things is going on TikTok is unacceptable. Hey, I hip hop and rock nonstop. You send me whack shit and then I hit that shit called block. Let it stop. Anytime I rock, get down. Supernatural spitting lyrics, this is just the first round. I leave it dumb. Everybody make it a bet. And anytime I do it, brother, I'm killing the set. He's super nice. Yeah, I waited all of my life to come up here with the fuck boys and get a slice. Hey, tell you what, yo, I go to work. And anytime that I do it, yo, it's all gonna hurt. I kill the beat. I tell you what, boy, I'm nothing sweet. And when I'm on the mic, he's making it all compete. Yo, I'm kinda raw. Yeah, when I be starting, call the water and a pencil and pad. I started drawing things that I was carving. Yeah, listen to me. Gregarious freestyles, only words that are 3. Anytime that I do it, yeah, this is an anointment. And when it comes to rhyming, I ain't giving disappointment. Dig, understand, little kids, I grow big. And I'm a real black man, I don't eat pig. No swine on my fork, I don't die. And I'm never dull when I rhyme. So listen, understand of the essence. Yo, this is my presence. Yeah, with syncopation, I'm the freestyle foundation of this rap shit. It just don't stop. And this is just my opinion and I'm making it hot. Gradually I started to change, I'm never a flop. A lot of rappers rapping today, they nothing but robots. Robotic, yo, not hypnotic. Understand, kid, like the girls say, period. Look what I did. Hey, I do what I do. I'm taking my turn. Well, will they learn? I'm burn to burn. I want my money like my name Big Worm. I'm an apostle. They think I'm old school. Yeah, I am a fossil, but I come from a different place. Still got a baby face. Told you leave it laid. Yo, slice him like a blade. Chilling in the Everglades. Brother, know it's Supernat. Freestyle off the top, baby boy, that's my habitat. Yo, it's kind of reasonable. Freestyle is seasonal. Tell you what, never been to college, but got knowledge. Yeah, far beyond. Yeah, since the 7th grade, that word came before. Yo, the same word blade. The same time, it generated what it do. I seen it in the last one, it generated 2. Check 1, 2. Now watch it do what I do. I caught that shit. Freestyle sick like the flu. Woo, Wu-Tang like the woo. Anytime that I flip it over the top and do what I do, knowing for a fact to never lack, that's the generator. Yo, stop it for the boy named Supernat.
Let's go.
Yeah!
What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast. I go by the name Black Pegasus.
And it's your boy, Don Wannabe, back in the house once again with the
legendary, legend, icon, MC Supernatural. What's up, man?
Peace and blessings to the world. How y'all feel, man? Great to be here. Glad to be in your presence, man. Thank you for having me.
You guys, this is a legendary day for the pod. I'm super honored to have MC Supernatural in here. Now, it's crazy. Life is crazy. My voice is going nuts, but bear with me. We showed the F up. But you guys, like, for real, I grew up. And what started me into the freestyle rap lane and seeing freestyling was MC Supernatural, MC Juice, and Idea. But leading that was MC Supernatural. And Dawn exposing me to, like, the Wake Up Show. This is, like, full circle, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like if I get to play a pickup game with Michael Jordan, like, that's what's going on here, you guys. It means so much. But let's get this thing started, you guys. Before we start, don't forget to like, share, and comment on all the content. But if you rock with the vibe, subscribe. You know what it is. 40-year-old boys are back in town. 40. Boys are back in town. 40-year-old boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. 40-year-old FUQ Boys
podcast. Malt liquor for your ears. 40!
All right, you guys, let me get this logo down, and it's going down. We're going to do a fresh interview. I mean, to start it off with a precision clinical freestyle like that, it's just sprinkle me, man, sprinkle me.
First time on the word generator, no less.
Yeah, that was my first time ever doing that, like sitting there and actually reading them and having them being shot off like that. That was pretty fun. I'd love to continue to do that. I'm gonna have to find one of those on YouTube. I know they got something up there. YouTube is a multi-purpose tool.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is facts. We'll have to get it in. Dude, thanks for coming through, man. How you living?
I'm living good, man, I must say. I'm blessed. I'm glad to be here on planet Earth right now. Glad to still be able to express my gift. So, I couldn't really complain, man. To make another day on this planet is always a blessing.
Yes, that's awesome.
That's real.
Now, it's crazy. This is like surreal for me to have you here. You're the OG, the legend of freestyle, and freestyling is a art that is, it's one of the most organic things I feel in the rap space of hip hop, right? Because you can freestyle, many different things in a sense, but putting words together in the moment from your soul, from your mind, it's just so, it's what it's in the title, free. It's freeing. We've had a couple days or a day together, and we've been building, and you were telling us you started freestyling at a very young age. Would you want to, talk about that a little bit more and give us light? Because I thought it was kind of crazy when, I don't want to speak for you, but you kind of were saying when you first saw rap on TV, you didn't know they wrote in notebooks.
No, I kind of was just naive to the whole fact that, these guys were sitting down writing out raps, like, and that's just being young, like one of the first rap records that I was ever acquainted with was, of course, the record that was for most people was Rapper's Delight. And, rapping over that record, like, every day when my parents would leave the house, eventually, I'm just shortening the story, I would get bored, and I turned it over, and there was an instrumental on the other side. And after I got tired of saying the rhymes that they said, I started to say my own rhymes, and like I said, naively thinking that this is how it was done. I thought they just went in the studio and just freestyle. I didn't even know the word freestyle at that moment, that would become a thing later on, but that's how it kind of started for me. And then I remember seeing the movie Wild Style, and when they was on the basketball court and they walked up on each other and they all said their names and, and then they went into their rhymes. It was so in the moment because they were talking about each other and what they could do to each other, and it was kind of like real time for me. So once again, my naive mind was like, man, this could have really happened, like, because that's how real that movie was, the way it was shot. It was very raw. It was very guerrilla-like style that they shot it. So, I mean, that's kind of like how I came in,
Well, and that tripped me out because I think you were saying you were like in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And then you just, how old are you in 7th grade? How old are you? What age is that like?
I would be like 18.
Okay.
Yeah, 17, 18.
And then just being like, yo, I'm just going to spit. And then, and that's what you were saying, like that's how you got super tight niche with coming up with things so quickly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like it's sometimes if you don't know that you're doing something, it's kind of better, right? Like when you're aware of it almost. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like it's free. It's like, when you're running free. So yeah, it was kind of like that for me, like hearing that record and then, like being able to rap about myself in real time. And I did that a long time, but in the house. Never in front of people. But I do remember, like, when I first did do it in front of people and the reaction that I got, that was when I was like, aha. There's something a little bit more to this than just me being in the house. And that's when you start coming into your character more. Say, like, if you read comic books, like, when a superhero comes into a comic, they always call it his first appearance.
Yeah.
Like it's the number one or it's his first appearance. So my first appearance probably would have been at a football game, and this was after practicing for at least 2 years of rapping in the house. And, my closest friends knew that I could do it, but we were at a football game, and they kind of called me out.
Yeah.
And, like, yo, Rico can rap. And I was like, nah, and they was like, come on. And so I ended up rhyming, and I rapped about everybody that was it was the D block of all places where we were sitting. No pun intended, but it was the D block. Shout out to Jada. But I started rapping about everybody that was sitting in the section that we were sitting in. And when I went to school Monday, it was like a whole nother world had enveloped. It was like I became that dude. I still didn't have the name Supernat. I was like rapping Rico or something, like, at the corny name back then. But that was the beginning stages of it all.
That's
wild. Amazing, because you need those friends sometimes to like push you, that like believe in you and are like, because that was similar to me when I first like rapped at a party or in some public location other than just to my friends. Somebody was like, there was a cipher and they were like, oh, he can rap, and they like push me in it, and I'm like, no, I'm not worthy, I'm not ready. But I mean, that's beautiful that you have those friends that just believe in you. They're like, yo, do the damn thing.
Well, it was like you entertain them first. I think that's kind of like how the scale goes. It's like you discover yourself, you rap for your friends, you rap in public for the first time, you kill your fears. After you kill your fears, you start looking for stages to kill. You kill a few stages. After that, you start gaining confidence, and your character starts to build, and you build your character over time. It's just like anything else. Spider-Man has been around for over 50 years, probably longer than that, but the character's been built out a million times, so that's kind of like how I look at being an MC, is like you build yourself out, but those beginning stages are the most pure ones, because those are the ones that define you, and for me, I had a few of those, in my career.
Yeah, so because you did an interview with Talib Kweli and you touched on a bunch of really gems. So, if people want to go back and see that, I'm going to kind of highlight some stuff. You're from Marion, Indiana. Is that how you say it? Marion, Indiana.
Marion, Indiana.
Went to Brooklyn, and going to Brooklyn really changed your life.
Ultimately, it's life-changing, life-altering experience.
Yeah. With that, I felt like from the story that I've got, you started building your freestyle, I don't want to say character, but like even routine. The one thing I wanted to highlight in this interview, and we might as well just start it super early, because I think it's super important that, in my opinion, the reason I always call you the father, sometimes I'll say the godfather of freestyle, but in reality, it's the father of freestyle. Not that you birthed or started improvisation in the rap space, but you were the first. Yeah, but you were the first MC that I saw create routines, right? And from getting to know you and seeing some of your interviews, it seems like a lot of these routines came from street performances, but you polished them, turned them into a show, and took it on the road. And, seeing you do that, that's why I always was like, yo, the father of freestyle, because you were the first person to do that. Like, growing up watching, let's say, Idea tour with Abilities, and he'd freestyle, sprinkle in some freestyles, but it wasn't a polished concert like what you did. Right. And I always looked at that like, this is crazy. Like, and I was like, how's he doing this? Like, and so with that, when do you think you're doing the street performances? Did it come natural to be like, hey, this is working with people? I noticed I got a moment or a reaction. You continued to do that. Were you getting things from like, hip hop shows or B-boy battles? You're like, yo, I'm going to do this. Because I remember you talking about the Dreads Connect. There's so many things. What helped you begin, and what was the inception of creating these routines?
There was a lot of things that went into the routines. Like, first of all, when you go to a place like New York City, you have to be prepared that it's going to give you some tough skin. If you can perform on the streets of New York and capture the attention of the people, you've already arrived. It's a very tough crowd, right? But once you surpass that and you kind of like work your spot, Washington Square was a place that if you worked your spot at a certain time of the day, you could always go to your spot and get off, and that was your stage. And it was a lot of our first stages, Aguilar, Mos Def, Talib, Cellar Dwellers, Ill Bill. There was so many people that would come through there, the Goldie and Road to Horror Show. Like, there was a cast of characters in the park. And, you had to come in there and have your sword sharp. A lot of the lyricist lounge cats would come through there. AL, All Lyrics, all of these people would come through. And Thurston Howe, so when you walked into that park, it was like walking into like a gladiator arena, and you had to be prepared. Aguilar, can't forget Ag. He was a mainstay in the park. So,
that's crazy. Because I really rock with Sean Price. And that's how I know of Aguilar. That's crazy as hell.
Me and him was signed to the same label as well when we all got signed. So that was the uniqueness about the park. The park played West 4th in general was our playground. you know, we would run around that whole Greenwich Village all day long. We'd leave the park, we'd go walk around on 8th Street and Broadway, and, you know, we just get into shit. We was young. But at the same time, this was us developing our style, not only fashion-wise, because in the Village you had all the places to shop with the sneakers and the shoes, and, you know, you had all week to go look at your fit for Friday, you know, whatever. So those were the developing stages of my show. You know, and be like just watching other people's shows in the park, like the way they go, okay, it's showtime, and, you know, everybody would come in, take 2 steps in. Like, that's one thing that I took from the park. Like, even when I'm on stage now, if the show is kind of light, you know, there's been shows where, you know, there's not that many, it might not be packed out, and people are kind of scattered about. Instead of letting them do that, I'd say, take 2 steps in. Everybody come on in. Let's make it tight and claustrophobic. I like it like that. Like, that's one of the things that I learned from being in the park. It's just performance etiquette, you know, amongst developing your character, your sense of character. My character was actually based off of, like, real life things that I was experiencing, you know, that later on parlayed into who I am supernatural, you know, and that's the personification of the word. And I don't only mean that on a rap level, I mean that on a life level. Like, look at the word supernatural. How much naturaler can you get? And I mean, just trying to live my life in a way that's like outside of the norm. We're so easy to conform, but yet not to be original. So supernatural was my way. That's why I chose that name. So I don't know if I expounded enough on it or too much, but that's kind of like some of the developing nuts and bolts of what my stage show later became to be.
Yeah, no, that answered it, because essentially what I'm getting from that is just like life experience. You know, you cultivate certain things on your journey, and through time you polish it. And I was just curious because, you know, I get on this platform and I'll do the 3-word routine. Give me 3 words, or, you know, sometimes I'll challenge myself with 4. And I just remember those performances, the 3 words, and I was like, man, I didn't realize until fast forward now how ahead of your time it was. You know what I'm saying? Like,
even for me,
yeah.
Like, a lot of the stuff that I did, you know, like I said, you know, naively, sometimes being a freestyler, you create a bubble around you, and it's this little safe space that you're in, and you think that, you know, nobody has seen this before, and nobody's done it before. But, like, for me, it was always my thing, like, you know, so, and I didn't know that it would later turn into 3 words is just the word generator. There was 3 words generating every time you generated something. Yeah. So it's just the amalgamation of the style. It's just, you know, it grew, you know, into that. So that's the way I look at it, you know, and I'm glad that my mind is still sharp enough to be able to dive into that and still, you know, navigate and turn the corners.
Yeah.
Do that.
I'm going to let Don punch in because I know you wanted to say something, but I also, because that's not the only routine, I think it's like the lyrical obstacle course and the 3 MCs. I want to tap on the 3 MCs just a little bit, but Don, what did you have to say?
Well, no, I was just thinking, for one, the original word generator was actual human beings giving you words. You know
exactly,
what I mean?
Exactly.
But yeah, what I was going to ask you is, like, did you draw inspiration for your performance from other street performers? Because I know, like, it's weird. Like, my kind of first introduction to, like, freestyling was in Washington Park, because I moved out there to live with my dad when I was like 15, and he used to just run around Alphabet City, Lower East Side. And he took me there and was like, you have to see this. Like, he was like, you have to see this. You have to experience this.
Magic.
But there was, like, people that were, like, playing, like, 5-gallon buckets, like, drumming. There were, like, people juggling. There were people doing magic.
Acrobats.
Yeah, so I was just curious if, because didn't Dave Chappelle kind of, like,
Dave Chappelle, that one guy that was in DC Cab, I think his name was Charlie something.
Yes.
He used to come out there. He had the real crazy hands. Rest in peace to him. But, yeah, he used to be out there. You know, the Village was, like, one of those places at one time where you would see anybody out there. I remember there was a group of, like, Trinidadian acrobats. They was, like, super strong and shit, and they would, like, do flips and land on each other and make formations in the park, and, like, you know, you'd sit there and you'd watch it. Then after that, a comedian would come up, you know, and, you know, then after that, you might see some B-boys, and then you had cats riding skateboards, and you had the punk kids. But that was a place where we all would converge. Even if it wasn't a rhyming night, we'd converge and go, the open mic is here tonight. We're going here, we're going there. That's what that place was like. So, yeah, like, freestyling in the park definitely was my first stage, amongst others. But to me, that was the stage at that moment until you got inside the building and actually got on a proper, real physical stage. But it, like I said, if you can hold the attention of New Yorkers, man, because you know that's a moving city. That city is not it doesn't stop. Then people will walk right by you. But that was the whole challenge: was can we get them to stop, or can we, you know?
That's exactly why I wanted to bring that up, because when you started talking about that, like the challenge of getting people to stop, like that's what you were competing with. It wasn't just like you were competing with other rappers. Like you were competing with, I think I know who you're talking about, the acrobatics dudes, because they like did something where they like did a flip over, like they would just keep stacking trash cans like them in a row to see like how far they, and you would be like, there's no way he can get 5, and then by the end they'd be at like 10. And so that's what you were competing with at that time. It wasn't just like, oh, there's these other rappers that
there was a whole
are top level that you've got to, you know, compete against. You're competing against dudes doing flips like David Blaine style street magic, and then here you are like reeling them in with the freestyle.
And speaking of magic, that's kind of like what I wanted to present myself as, almost like, you know, how can he rap about me like that? And in the early stages of doing that, if you had never seen that before in your life, that's shocking. To anybody, to anyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why, man, it's crazy y'all say that, because y'all, I'm over here like, this is America's Got Talent before America's Got Talent, you know, with all these different styles of performers.
Not even thinking about it like that, but for real though.
Yo, like, and it's so weird too, because now the internet, it's like some of the stuff you guys are talking about, I've never experienced. I wasn't in New York like that. I went with you and your pops. And that's actually where I got my first humble pie, because in Colorado I was battle rapping, freestyling, and doing very well, you know, always number 1 or number 2 in the circuit. But when I went to New York, me and him went to Wetlands, and it's shut down now, but they used to have these battles, I forget on which day, and he went out there, and he wasn't
was it the end of the week?
I think so. Yeah. End of the week. That's right.
Dude, I was so nervous. I was so nervous.
He was so nervous, and he did hella good. He got like,
I made it to like the 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah, but in New York, bro, Colorado, like anyways. And I got murked, yo. I wore an orange shirt, bro. Oh my God, I got roasted, bro. Anyways, it's all good. I learned a lot, and I came back, and I really upped my game. But anyways, I want to get back into these performances, because on the channel, I did this reaction, and I want to preface it before I ask you the question. But I did a reaction to your 3 MCs, okay? And when you flip it into the 3 classic MCs like Biggie, Slick Rick, and I'm like, bro, this is bananas. And I remember in my chat, someone was like, this is a routine. This is not a freestyle off the top. And I started arguing with him. I'm like, this is a freestyle off the top. This is what MC Supernatural does. Like, just don't get it twisted. Like, I'm so sure about this. So I want to ask this on a public platform.
Sure.
When you do the 3 MCs, are you freestyling off the top in the moment, or is it like a routine and you use, you know, are you saying the same thing from the other day?
No, not at all. Not at all. Like most of the time, like when I do the 3 MCs, it's structured in a way for entertainment purposes. And the way that I created that was like when DJs used to get busy and they would have that little moment where the MCs would rest. And they would play like different of the hottest joints that was out. I always thought that was dope, you know, like give a DJ a moment to shine. So that was my way of paying homage to cats and kind of like doing it like a DJ almost. Like, yo, this is a little entertainment moment of the show where I get to show you something, you know. And anytime that I do that, it's always freestyle when I'm imitating the rapper. The only part that's premeditated is the hook part. It's the 3 MCs.
Yeah.
It's the 3 MCs. You know, the setup. But everything else is always freestyle. It's always been that. You know, I've always been accused of planning people in the audience. I've been, that's not real. I've had those moments before where people have challenged me and it's like, yo, you know, there's no way, you know. Because there's times where, you know, when you're a freestyle MC, you have moments where you get really hot. It was even like when I was doing the generator. Like towards the middle, I started heating up. You know, it's like that. That's how it is for me. You know, once I break a sweat, we're in the zone.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what it is. So no, to answer your question, I've always freestyled those parts. Always Busta, Biggie, Slick Rick, DMX, and whoever else might jump in.
Yeah.
You know,
That was gonna be one of my questions. How many impressions can you do? Like, I mean, if you think, because you'll do different voices. I mean, you can lump it all together. I'm just curious.
And what's with the hip hop cartoon, man?
oh, you talking about my puppet?
And I'm just adding on, like, yo, if you could do all these impressions, we got to get the hip hop cartoon going.
That's
man.
what I'm doing
all
with
this,
my puppet.
all this AI.
Yeah, with the puppet, I'm trying to develop that too. But as far as the imitations, I kind of like who I said. You know, I'm really good at mimicking voices, but your voice has to be a very distinct voice, like DMX or Busta, Biggie, Slick Rick. You know, those are usually the ones that I like doing on stage. And Biggie, of course, you know, like that voice, the timbre in his voice. It's just, and the first time I did that on stage, like, it was just really, and I've seen other people do that too. You know, like, it's just like, at the end of the day, I remember talking to Big Daddy Kane backstage one time in England, and, you know, Kane pulled me to the side and told me, he said, you know that you've arrived when people either start to imitate or duplicate what you've created. He said, don't be upset. And this was an OG putting me up on game, one of the greatest of all times. And I remember I was just absorbing. I had goosebumps on the back of my neck when he was saying it. And I had to realize that, you know, sometimes, you know, our ego overrides our intellect, and we cloud our own contributions to the game by that. And, you know, like, even for me sometimes, you know, being human, I feel that way. But, you know, you always want to be recognized for what you brought to the table. So those are some of the things that I brought to the table. And, you know, and I pride myself on creating those things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. This is facts. With all of that, a big part of your career in the sense of creating notoriety, I would say battle rapping, freestyle battle rapping.
No, I would always say this. I would have to say this on that one. I am an activist that is an MC.
Okay.
Battle rap was a small extension of my life at the time. I think that because I battled, people always label me as a battle rapper. I've always had a voice. I'm the voice of the people, really. Like, I like to freestyle, but, you know, I really want to put forth a message. So battle rap was something that was part of my life. It wasn't the dominant force in my life. Freestyle was.
Okay.
Freestyle, I would say, was more dominant than the New Music Seminars. What birthed me into the game, kind of like gave me the notoriety and let a lot of people see me on a broad scale.
Yeah.
Like, Clark Kent was one of the most, he was a very clever guy, still is, you know, sneaker genius, sneaker champion. He was the creator of the New Music Seminar Battle, and he used to have it for the DJs and the MCs, and I think at one point there was even a dancing division for it. But the year that I won that was the year that I was birthed into the game.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the one where you battled Mad Skills?
Yeah.
Yeah, Puffy was one of the judges, right?
Absolutely.
The battle with Mad Skills, did that ever come out? What's up with that?
You can go watch it. There's
on YouTube.
There's bits and
Okay.
pieces of it on YouTube. Shaquan, my tape, son. My killer tape, son. For real.
Message.
Shaquan Lewis. No.
Now, when I said that, I didn't want to box you in like, oh, you're a battle rapper. I just felt like, as someone who came from the freestyle battle rap world, sometimes the highlight of winning battles or being in and out of that gladiator arena, it like catalysts certain things where people like, yo,
It was part of being an MC
you know?
to me. I mean, at one point or another, I feel that everybody should battle at least once, even if you're not the illest dude. Like, go test your skills. It builds confidence. It builds stuff on the inside that, you know, you just don't get from being on stage. Now, some dudes make it a career because you can.
Yeah.
You know, if you know you nasty like that, then make it a career. But for me, I really always wanted, sometimes being in that battle overshadowed what I really wanted to do, because people, you know, I remember that summer that I won the battle was probably one of the most interesting times to live in New York City, because, like, everywhere I went, hey, you the dude with the ring? Yo, my man is nice. You know, and it was like all the time, like for a whole summer, maybe almost 2 summers. And, you know, and it was just a thing. But, yeah, man, being part of that sometimes overshadowed the freestyle. But then I always just wanted to focus on exactly what I do to this day, is like entertaining people and making them feel good in the moment. There's one thing to listen to a record and throw it on. It's another thing and for somebody to rap to you live in your face and touch a part of your soul.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, talking about battles, online, I've heard you talk about the Craig G battle, the battle with MC Juice. Huge shout out to MC Juice.
What up,
I
Juice?
love Juice. That's my guy. Massive respect to Juice. And then even with Mad Skills and these battles, I've heard you talk about those online. But one battle that I've never heard you talk about that recently surfaced when I was watching I believe it's like on a Math Hoffa podcast. Well, shout out to Math and them. It's so cool to see battle rappers. Which I would, that's how I got to know him. Maybe he's beyond that, but evolve into these like content creators and really creating platforms and bridging out and doing. It's like mad inspirational. But anyways, Bizarre was on there, and it from what I gander. You battled Proof?
Yeah, it was at it's funny because I never really told the story out in public, and to hear Bizarre tell it, I was like, wow, Proof must have went back and told how the whole thing happened. And this kid had came to the studio and he kept saying, yo, I want to show you something, and we was kind of like shutting him down, and then finally he was like, come on man, please, I gotta show you this. And I sat and he brought it to the point where Bizarre was talking, and he said that Proof was hunting this MC. And I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, what is this? And then I said, hunting. And he was like, yeah, for 5 months. And Bizarre was really like making the story dramatic. And he goes, and Math Hoffa sits back in the chair and is like, who is this? And they start naming people. And Bizarre's like, nah. And then he goes, Supernatural. And everybody kind of like stopped and paused for a minute. Even me, I was like, oh, wow, he's telling the story. And it was just one of those moments where, make a long story short, we were in Vegas at a thing called the Magic Convention. And I was working at the Boss / Jabot booth at the time. They kind of had the brand in the same building. My man Tavel had flew me out to do it. And so I was there doing my thing, rapping for people walking by, going back and forth on the floor at the event. And Proof comes up. At the time, I didn't know what Proof's face looked like. I knew who Proof was. I'd heard about him. And he walked up, and he was leaning on his homeboy, and they was kind of like looking at me, and I just was being a friendly MC thinking, oh, they want to jump on, and I passed him the mic, and he went straight for the jugular, like out the gate. And at first, I got a little upset, and then I had to like gather myself. And then I went straight back at him, and we exchanged bars. And there was a couple of lines that was stated, and pretty much shut the spot down with the lines, And I remember like he went back his way, I went my way, and I was telling me and Peg was talking when he came to pick me up about this briefly, and I was years removed from that happening. I was in Vegas again, and this is how beautiful life can be. Rest in peace to Proof, first and foremost. He was
rest in peace.
A very cool person, and just to know that the way Bizarre presented the story in such a whimsical and comical way, it let me know that there was no love lost. It was all good. Let's make that very clear while I'm speaking on, the brother's name. But as to make the story even sweeter, is like years later, removed from that moment, I was in Vegas again, doing that, and I was, as I said, people were going by, and this lady stops, and I'm rhyming to one of the people that's standing with her, and she has a locket, and she opens the locket, and I start rapping about the picture that was in the locket. And when I finished, as I was rhyming, the girl started crying because I was rhyming about the little girl that was in this locket. It was a little girl or a child, I'm not sure, but as I was rhyming about the child, she started crying. And come to find out, it was Proof's daughter or one of her kids, and it was Proof's mother and his baby's moms together standing right in front of me. And I broke down. We had a whole moment of tears. There's actually footage of this happening. I think my brother has it on a VHS tape that he was, on his handy cam at the time. And it was just one of those moments that takes you full circle. That's why I call myself Supernatural.
That's what I was just gonna say.
That's why those
why they call you
moments.
Supernatural.
Yeah,
right
for real,
there.
for real. It's really not just about just the rhyming. Like I can tell you stories and things that happened to me in the rap game that is like almost unfathomable. Like just a quick one, like how I met Biggie, right? I had a manager at the time. His name was Al T. McLaren. We called him Tugger. He used to live on St. James and Lefferts and St. James, either way. But Biggie used to stay on St. James, right off of Fulton. And I used to go to the store all the time, and this is at the time when hustling was prevalent in New York, and these cats was on the block, the little Junior Mafia and all of that. But this is before the blow-up, and I remember, like, seeing this dude and, somebody pointing like, yo, he's one of the neighborhood rap dudes. And it's crazy that we never got an opportunity to rap together. But that classic video where you see Biggie holding the mic and he's dissing the dude in front of the bodega right there on the corner. I used to go to that bodega every day. I used to see Big and them there every day. There used to be a little Chinese fish shop there. We used to go get fish sandwiches and then people that know this block on Fulton know exactly what I'm talking about. And so, I remember seeing him, and I remember later on in life, right, this was the crazy part. Like, I was coming home one night, and he was on the block by himself, and he was chilling, and I stopped. We knew each other from passing, so it was kind of like I was a neighborhood dude to them, so they knew me. And I just stopped and started talking to him, and we was talking about, like, dreaming of being rap stars and, getting on. And he had a bottle of Hennessy and a blunt. We smoked a blunt, and we sat, and we chopped it up. And I remember, like, a year and a half later after meeting him, like, that Party and Bullshit dropped. And I'm like, yo, that's Chris. That's Fat Chris. That's what they used to call him in the hood. And of course, Big, too. And rest in peace to Chico Delvec from Junior Mafia, who was another person that was influential in me, coming up. He was always around, too. So that's a true story, true New York story of how I met the Notorious B.I.G., and that's why that ground is coveted right there on Fulton Street. That, like, those moments are unforgettable. I was there the day they brought his body back to Brooklyn. When you see all those people standing in the street, I was there. Matter of fact, there's a documentary on A&E. If you watch to the very end, they interviewed me that day. They interviewed me that same day that Biggie's body came back to Brooklyn. So these are the moments that are supernatural to me, that made me, and still molded me and gave me the energy and the substance to do what I do to this day. Just those of many moments. Sorry to take off on that tangent.
This is what we're here for. I mean, honestly, I'm geeking out because, like, you got to New York in, like, 89, right?
Yeah,
roughly
87, 89, like, okay, right at the end, like, top of 89.
So you just were there right at the moment, like, hip hop hadn't quite taken off yet. It's not the global dominating force that it is now at that time, right? And you literally saw the birth of all these people, like, starting out in a cypher before the record deals. Now all these people are like icons that, like, real hip hop heads know. And you're, like, on the block, like, meeting them in the moment, and not just in the moment, but in the scene. And that's kind of one of the things I wanted to highlight, because we kind of touched on it a couple times. We were talking about the Mad Skills battle, and you're like, it's somewhere out there, right?
Right.
And I think that's something I personally just wanted to say, is that I feel like because of the era, there is something that was missed, right? Like, now anybody could pull out a phone and they can capture these moments. They can capture these moments of people freestyling or doing whatever. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, right, you could be in a restaurant, and something happens, or on a plane, and there's 50 people videotaping you and it goes viral. I've seen you live multiple times, like, been there at the shows, to see it and witness it. But because of the lack of technology, like, there's all these moments in time that are kind of lost, like moments of history. If somebody didn't have the camcorder or the VCR, or
absolutely,
the tape got eaten, or it didn't get transferred, those moments are just, like, held in people's memories. And that's where I wanted to give you that credit of just saying you're such an icon, like, in the history, and impacted both of us, like, greatly, the battles that you did with Juice. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that.
There was one when you were saying that popped in my mind that for me was like another moment that was iconic in just hip hop, like, saying being in the scene. There's one thing to be of it, there's another thing to actually be in it. So when I was signed to Electra, from like 93 to 95, right? And Sylvia Rhone signed me at the time. Merlin Bob was the vice president. And the roster of people that we had at that time was just unheard of. My label mates were Das Effects, Busta Rhymes, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, The Lynch Mob, Yo-Yo, You know, we even had Patra. You know, we had a brand Nubian.
Didn't y'all have MC Light?
Yeah, MC Light, Lin Q, you know, Ini Kamosi, like the Born Jamaicans. This was all in one place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and we had these things. We used to have these things called our Roots Run Deep. Like, Electra was a different type of label. They would do some different type of things. And Dr. Cornell West would come and speak. And Dr. Khalid Muhammad would come and speak. And they'd rent out auditoriums. But I remember one time, and there's a record out there that is extremely rare for the people that collect records. If you can find this, please find. If you find it, give it to me too. Find one for me too. It's called Ill Style Live. Ill Style Live. And it was the first time that Busta Rhymes ever performed Hoo-Ha, Got You All in Check. And I remember standing. So let me set the scenario for you for this one. So this was a label event. This was not an event that was fully open to the public. It was a label type of event. So all the execs in the suits was there, and you had to be invited. And so everybody that was on the label had to come out and do a song that they were getting ready to drop or something that was in the shoot to come out in the next quarter. So, you know, everybody came out and did their thing. I did the song. I had a song at the time called Natural Disasters that was on an album that we're actually re-releasing for the world to hear from that time too. We're working on that right now. But we're standing on the side of the stage, and Busta Rhymes comes out, and nobody knew. We didn't know what he was going to do, so I'm thinking, like, what is he going to do? And he comes out to the original sample of the record first. And he walks out, and he's doing this swagger, and he's looking at the audience, and he's like he knows, like, in his mind, I'm getting ready to murder every one of you. And he's kind of looking, and he goes, what? He said, y'all ain't hype fucking enough. I'm going to walk back off. And he walks back off. Start the music again. I think it was Gerard Tumbling Dice was the dude. Tumbling Dice DJ was spinning for him. And he goes back off, and he comes back on again. And when he dropped the beat as is, I looked at my homie, and when he did the first, I got your head undone because I break your neck.
Woo-ha.
Goosebumps just went up on the back of my neck, and I told him we might as well just go throw our shit in the trash right now because this dude is getting ready to blow. And sure enough, within 3 months of that dropping,
To the moon, Alice.
Busta Rhymes was on a rocket ship, and he's never stopped since. I remember having freestyle session with him, Dinko D, Charlie Brown in L.A. like during that time of when Leaders of the New School was still together. Shout out to Charlie Brown. I still talk to him to this very day. So these moments in hip hop history, like you said, we didn't have the technology back then, but that record is old tech. So if you can find it, Old Dirty Bastard pulled one off that night too. He just he came in super wasted and just let all the record execs have it in drunken style. And it was one of the funniest and coolest things I ever seen in my life, you know, and just walked out the building, Old Dirty Bastard style. So, you know, shout out to Sylvia Rohn and Marilyn Bob for being visionaries. And sometimes I feel like they're not talked about enough. For like, just think of that roster that I just named at that time. You know, that was pretty heavy for that time in hip hop. You know.
Yeah, that's wild. You know, like with what Don was saying, you know, you just elaborated on this incredible story. That's like we're over here like, it's unbelievable. But Don was saying you're an icon with these icons, right? And you know, last night I saw like even a battle with Hollow the Don. You know what I'm saying? Which I would say is a part of the newer generation being like, I'm this and that mixed with Supernat, you know?
Supercat,
yeah. And then, but I believe there's an interview with Biggie where he mentioned you. And then the craziest thing to me is because one of the greatest freestyles, now it was more of a written freestyle to drop, was Black Thought's 10-minute freestyle on Funk Master Flex. But there's an interview where he just starts talking about you in detail, like I had to reconsider things after hearing Supernat freestyle. And it's one of these things where I'm like, it's so incredible to see freestyle in the moment, improvisation, take you across the world, take you all these places. And in Puff Dat, P. Diddy, all these people know you. They're just like, yo, like, yeah, MC Supernatural. That's just incredible. And I'm so gracious for you being here. I want to give you your flowers. And I wanted to take a time to also give a shout out to Dent, because Dent is who made this connection. You know, he also connected us.
That's my
Dent.
Dent.
And he's a
brother.
good dude. So, yeah.
But yeah, man, just like being part of like actually living through this whole hip hop movement, like actually like falling in love with the Wu-Tang Clan, and you know, then able to do a joint with Raekwon, then able to be on the like to go on tour with them, you know, such iconic groups, and to be part of that is like, you know, has always been something like for me. What like even down to the battles and some of the things I could tell you, I was digging some of these stories, and here's one that was like never done before. Like when I battled Craig G the first time, right, and we kind of went at we battled like 3 times all together. But the first time we battled, you know, it was the first time in my career where somebody was like, yo, Supernat got served, you know, and I was like, wow, it was, you know, one of those moments where you go through it. But I remember I had my radio show at the time, and this was on Kiss FM in New York City. And Kiss FM was the premier station. DJ Red Alert was the top DJ at the time. He used to come on Saturday nights. Yeah. And just to hear that was like, you know, it was the shit. So for me to actually end up getting a job on Kiss FM, another milestone, you know, for me at a young age. And I wasn't even thinking of it like that in that time. Like, I'm on the record label with a job on the radio that breaks records. Right, that was a trip in itself. I didn't think of it like that back then. I probably would have approached it different. But, you know, even the battle that I had with Craig, the next week I go up and I get on the radio. And remember, at this time, I couldn't listen. He went to Hot 97. This is when Kiss FM was getting ready to transition out, and Hot 97 was coming in as the new kids on the block. So Craig G was over on Hot 97, and I'm on Kiss FM. And so I was like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to go down. So I was like, man, how are we going to do this tonight? Because we're in 2 different places. So my homie had the radio on outside the room with a pair of headphones. And every time Craig G would say something, we would run back in the booth like we were sitting right here and be like, yo, he just said do-do-do-do-do. And I would jump back on the mic and I'd be like, and we actually battled on 2 different radio stations. And I remember people coming up to me in New York was like, literally, they was turning from dial and tuning back to the other one, going back and forth to hear this, right? So even like shit like that, like, and you know, when you're in the moment doing it, you don't think nothing about it. But when somebody walks up to you on the street and goes, yo, that was some ill shit. Y'all had me at home twisting knobs, like that's, you know, one of those moments. So another New York moment. But even working for Kiss FM was like another level, because the MCs would come through. Fat Joe, Cuban Links, Mad Lion, KRS-One, the Cellar Dwellers, Smith & Wesson, you know, there was, it was a plethora. Skills came up, you know, anybody that we could get on the show back then. So, and you know, once again, who knew? Maybe I was the predecessor to the podcast too. Because I would bring those guys in and sit them down, I would interview them, and I would always ask them to freestyle. But the holy grail of all was Big. And Big came through, you know, and so, you know, like, somebody in New York, if you're watching this, I know there's some hip-hop historian that's holding those recordings. And if you are...
And they never came out?
If you're holding those tapes of me on the radio on Thursday night, live from the Underworld. The name of the show was Live from the Underworld with the freestyle fanatic Supernatural and DJ Enough, who went on to be Biggie's DJ, who went on to be one of the top DJs on Hot 97, Big Dogs, you know, the whole 9. My history is long, you know, in this hip-hop shit. So if y'all have those tapes, we'll pay money for those. If somebody has even
somebody's got to have
it. Somebody, people recorded the
it's
radio.
In somebody's closet,
Somebody
like in somebody's garage on a shelf, collecting dust.
They're there. I want to hear tonight that I interviewed Biggie, because I remember you know how you play the Boyz are back in town. Ours was like, hey ma, it's Wednesday once again. And they've had this real zany beat. Go tell your grandma, your mother, and your friends, let the madness begin. And I'd be like, yo, what up, New York, Supernatural, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be on the radio like, And, you know, I would interview people. We would break records. We played everybody's shit. Fat Man Scoop used to bring records through. Wendy Williams used to be on Top 888. You know, I was really there, you know, and I'm still there. It's just like, it's nice to let people know some of these stories.
Bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I wanted to bring that up. Because, again, it's like there's this history that I just don't think people understand. They don't understand because some of the documentation isn't there. But you were just really there. And I was thinking about it because I was listening to a freestyle of yours where you were talking about like building like Legos and you tied it in with like the pyramids. And so it just stuck out in my mind because I feel like there's certain aspects of this generation, right, that are holding up certain people that they think are the pinnacle, right? And they're like, oh, look at this. This is like the pinnacle, but they're forgetting about this foundation. And you don't get that pinnacle without the foundation. And you're part of that foundation that built this for the next generation to be able to build upon it, right?
Absolutely.
And that's where I just wanted to give you that credit and that love because it's like I just got to pinch myself because I'm like, damn, am I dreaming, man?
But nah, even
so
being
crazy.
here with y'all is the same way. It's like we play a significant role to each other in this ecosystem. Like you guys are just as much as significant as the MC as well as being MCs. You know what I mean? Like to be able to step in and say, hey, let's give this guy an opportunity to come on our platform is a blessing, you know? And blessings come in big sizes, small sizes, far few and in between, but they're always there, and you have to recognize them when they're in the room. And anytime that I get an opportunity to talk about hip-hop or, you know, talk about the evolution of the culture that I love so much, because I always say this, I love hip-hop, I hate the industry. The industry turns you into dust for trying. Once you get in, it turns you into dust. The industry, for the best try that you put out in the effort, if your skin isn't thick enough, this thing will kill you, literally. You know, so I try to let people, you know, really understand that part. And that's why I'm glad to be even considered an icon in hip-hop. You know, even that word is almost too big for me, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm thankful that I'm able to still give my contribution. And that's the main part, is like if you truly love something, it's not always about just getting paid for it and making the most money you can make. Of course, money is part of it, but ultimately, when you first started rhyming, you never rhymed for money in the first place. So when you put your focus more on the money, you lose the love. And that's where the integrity of the music starts to get compromised. And that's just my own personal opinion, you know, but kind of like how I see it, you dig?
Yeah. We had some conversations off camera, and I thought that was really important, what you just said, because you had mentioned how it was such a big thing when you got put on. You have elders to answer to. You have a family. You even now have a daughter. Like, they see these, they see the moves you make, and you will not be compromised. There's also something that you said to me, the industry turns you into dust. But me and you had a conversation, and, you know, I've had my ups and downs with my career, a lot more downs than ups. And I remember, like a therapist, you told me, P, you said, hip-hop didn't do this to you. The industry did. And that resonated with me.
The machine.
Because sometimes I'll get jaded and bitter personally about my career. And then I started doing this YouTube thing, and a new chapter of my career started to open that I'm very grateful for. And I'm kind of able to rewrite things and kind of have these conversations. But that resonated really deep with me because there's a part of my soul, or there's a part of my heart that's been broken by the music industry or whatever it is, you know, where you feel like you fall short. But I've always, like, even in, because, you know, me and you've talked, I'm a martial artist, but it's okay to lose, but it's not okay to quit. You know what I'm saying? And that's a moniker that I've always kind of held in my heart. Like, even when you're about to tap and you're pissed, you're like, but then you just show back up, like, all right, let's go. The time's not up, bro. I don't care that I got tapped. That's that part where you win, and you just when you keep pressing forward, you win. But there's just something about it just really stuck with me. A lot of people have said things to me, but you know how, like, when someone important to you that you look up to says it helped put me at peace. Like, my soul was able to be at peace with, you know, my career, and even look back on my career. And I'm not saying I'm done rapping or whatever, but I'm just not sore. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's like a healing process.
You go through it. You know, that's part of being an artist. Like, if you truly love your artistry, some of the best artistry comes out of struggle and pain. You know, some of the greatest songs was written out of struggle and pain, and they were joyous songs. So, you know, that's part of being an artist. If you truly are dedicated to your craft, it's not always going to go your way, you know, all the time. You know, for even the greatest of the greats, you see that. But it's what you learn from those moments. Do you build from them? Do you quit?
Yeah.
You know, like there was a moment in my career where I felt like that, you know, like, and people always go, you, Nat? Yeah, me, because it wasn't just music. It was other shit in my life that was affecting the music. And it's like, man, you know, this isn't doing what it's supposed to do for me. But then that's when I feel like the spirit of hip hop, it turns its back on you then when you start saying shit like that. But then as soon as you return to the true spirit and the essence of hip hop has this very unique way of feeding itself.
Wow.
You know, like this is part of it. This is the ecosystem. We still in it. One way or another, we still in it. We got a cameraman, we got mics, we got music. We're still living part of this hip hop thing, whether it's on a grand scale or not. And that's the thing. I think the diamonds and the whole glamour and glitz sometimes can be blinding. That's why they say, "Ooh, you was blinded by the light." Yeah, but diamonds reflect. That's not the real light. You know what I mean? So, you know, not to get so preachy and get on the soapbox, but that's just my opinion.
Get preachy. That was profound, because even, you know, that's the concept of blasphemy in a sense. And I know personally in my life, I've been to like a dark place when I've lost things in my life, and you thought you lost it all. And sometimes you look to the sky and you curse God, or I'm talking about me, like, take me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's interesting that you said when you turn your back and when you feed into that, you kind of get that back. But when you humble yourself, and me personally, I had to go back to my faith, and blessings and different things started to change. I started to feed that, and things did change. And that's deep.
Because everybody's not meant to be on a stage dripping with ice and talking about, you know, the shit they talk about. I mean, if that's what you do, that's your lane. Yeah. You know, because hip-hop was ultimately birthed out of the streets. Yeah. But then, like I said, I feel like as being a young black man at the time when I was doing it, I had an obligation to do a little bit more, because I'm living through the crack era in real time and still trying to make music. Yeah. New York was rough, as well as it was a beautiful place. It also was a dark place. It had some real ill shit going on back in the 80s and the 90s especially. So, you know, to be able to navigate those treacherous waters and to still be able to do music on the level that I was able to do it on, and then like have a record deal, lose a record deal, you know, people think you're not as dope as you used to be. All of that built me up to be a teacher and to be a person that can share his wisdom with the world. Like even me saying that to you, because I remember when I said that, I heard that literally on the phone, and I felt like, as an OG or somebody that was a little bit older than you that had been through, I said, you got to tell him this right now. Yeah. Because you was mad that day. I remember when we was talking, you was like really mad. And I said, just tell him that. Maybe it'll resonate. And look, it did. You know what I mean? And that's like really where I'm at this point in my career, you know, is like, I've always managed to keep myself out of the dirt. You know what I'm saying? And that was intentional. You know, I never wanted to get my names wrapped up in anything that didn't contribute to my growth or my people around me. That was my main thing, is like the people around me.
Yeah, facts. Now, we bounced around a little bit, but when we were talking about the foundation of let's say freestyle hip hop, and you being such a big pillar and foundation of that, and bringing it to so many parts of the world, and now we fast forward to today's day and time, and I see a bunch of freestyle rappers that I really enjoy via the internet. Now, a couple, and I'm sure you're familiar because you're engulfed in the culture. One of them, me and you've had a combo about, was MC Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
you know
R.I.P. to Juice WRLD.
And I was surprised because he's nice. Like he's good. Now he has
within his own realm that he created.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely. I listened to him one day. I was like,
he's
rapping about what he is.
Yeah, the street shit.
But he's still clever at the way he was doing it. Yeah.
It's off the top, and I was very impressed. He's one of them, and then Harry Mack is a big one as well. And we're fans of him on the channel. Been doing some reactions to him, and he's been doing incredible work in the face of bringing the technology and promoting like the freestyle art to the masses. What do you think of the new generation of freestyle? And, you know,
I mean, just to be honest, you know, in the very beginning when I first seen it, I was a bit alarmed, you know, and I know that a lot of people that watch this channel have their own opinion on me as an MC, but I want to take this little moment to clear the air first and foremost is that, you know, when you are a predecessor to something or a pioneer to something, like Erykah Badu said, we all are artists and we're sensitive about our shit, you know. And in the beginning, like, you, of course you want to see hip-hop evolve, but as we stated before, you know, my era, we didn't have the same technology, so there's a lot of things that was missing and you had to be part of the moment. Now you can capture the moment. So with guys like, you know, Harry Mack and Juice WRLD and even Mac Miller, I heard say one time he took from me, he was in a Nardwuar interview where he said, I seen that interview, you know what I mean? So I think I had to get over, like I said, my ego sometimes overrode my intellect in the moment, and I would get upset when I seen that. But I kind of reiterated it earlier when I told you, when I sat down and I talked to Big Daddy Kane. So, you know, to see the game being pushed forward is one thing, you know, and I always say, like, even when I stated in the Talib interview, I want to see it go higher. And, you know, to be direct, you know, like in the Talib interview, we had addressed something with Harry Mack, and I don't have anything against Harry Mack, you know what I mean? And in the beginning, I kind of was just like, and I even said this to him, it's like, the first few videos that I ever seen of him, they always put white guy in front of it, you know, and that's how I was introduced to him. And I even said this to him, and I said, to me, that even almost takes away from who you are. You know, I've never seen a video that says black guy spits amazing freestyle. So see, a lot of people was putting certain stuff to it, to me, that I just didn't. I was like, well, why does it always have to be that? Why can't it just be he spits an amazing freestyle on Venice Beach? You know, but we live in the world of clickbait and, you know, things to bring people in. So that's how I was first introduced to him. But as I sat and I started to watch him over time, I watched him elevate, you know, freestyle things that I once did and took them into the digital space and made it, you know, his own thing. And, you know, hats off to him for doing that. Eventually, we'll be in the same room and maybe y'all can get this, you know, freestyle that you've anticipated for so long from me and him. You know what I mean? And we can finally sit down and you can see both in the room. You know, I am the pioneer. I make no shame in that. And a lot of those routines I created, and, you know, no matter what anyone would say, that can never be changed. So, you know, it's good to see that they are contributing to the history of freestyle, and I want to see that still push forward. I'm waiting to see the next kid. I seen a kid that was recently with Harry Mack in England. I don't remember his name.
Is it Lean? L-E-E-N?
I think so. He had on like an Atari sweatshirt.
Yeah, he has glasses. Yeah, he's nice. Lean is the homie too.
He was dope. And, you know, I've seen battles, the Red Bull battles, and cats freestyling some of those battles. And, you know, like, I would have never thought 40 years ago that freestyle would be where it is now. I mean, I wanted it to be, but it is. It's like it's still relevant to this day. And that's the magical part about being an MC that goes off the dome. So, like, for me, I think it's dope, you know, and I hope that I cleared that up for his fans because, you know, a lot of y'all came for me anyway, which I found, you know, amusing to a degree, you know, because when you know who you are, you don't doubt who you are.
Yeah.
You know, I don't doubt who I am in any degree. You know, I know my contributions. So have fun in the comments if you want and show love if you want. But at the end of the day, no matter who you are, you have to stand on yours at all times, you know, and I know what I created, and I'm glad to say that I gave a contribution, and I will continue to give contributions. I got a few more tricks up my sleeve, believe it or not. You know, if you listen to a lot of my early music, you know, we were already rapping about technology. Me and my group, Alien Nation, if you can go dig up any of our music, you would be amazed at some of the stuff we're talking about. Like, I got a song called Cosmic Slop where I'm rapping about the internet, and we use the internet dial-up tone. That's how old the song was.
People don't even
like,
know.
So,
they never heard that one.
Yeah. You know, so, like, it's like now I'm catching up to even some of the things that we were saying. I was talking to one of the guys that was a member of my group, and he said, yo, do you get eerie feelings when we listen to our own music? I said, absolutely. You know, because we have songs talking about cyberspace, and we call ourselves the Neo-Elos before the Matrix even came out, you know, with Neo and the Matrix and all of that. Like, we were really into that, that type of sci-fi rap too. So, you know, just seeing the evolution of when you said technology and how he incorporates that, you know, and how y'all even incorporate it. This is part of it. This is part of the new skit, you know, and it's a terrain that I'm still learning how to navigate, but, you know, not afraid of it. You know, you put your backpack on and you go learn, you know, and that's the beauty of being a human being. The day you stop learning is the day you die. I believe that's when God says they've learned as much as they could on this planet, transcend, boom. So, you know, I'm going to keep learning.
Absolutely. And anything we can do to help push, you know, the culture forward, help you out, you know, that's obvious. And I wanted to say what you just said, I felt was beautiful because me and you've had a lot of conversations and you've mentored me through a few things. And I know you have a beautiful soul. And sometimes we could even say there's this war within where sometimes our humility or this, it doesn't serve it. Like there's so many things because you mentioned the ego and Big Daddy Kane. And I just think it's dope because nobody on the planet can take away. And I want to address the trolls and people who go a little too crazy in the comments, because essentially when you have someone who birthed something, who created something, the only reason I can get on this platform and freestyle, I'm only going to speak for myself, but the only reason I can get on this platform, freestyle, utilize, I use your 3-word routine. And there's even moments where I was like, yeah, I need to, you know, like, that's why it's such a cool thing to see this. And if fast forward, I would love to see you and Harry Mack collaborate, because it's going to be one of these things where it's like,
it's going to happen.
It's like, to me, I always look at things like Jordan and LeBron, you know, like it's going to be so epic. It's going to be very explosive, and you are down to earth. And I just think people need to see this side of you as well, because, you know, sometimes people see certain things and you know how it is, judge a book by its cover or whatever. But I mean, me and you've talked, you're like friends for life, you know what I'm saying? And I haven't known you forever, but like the connection that's made, I'm pretty good with my intuition. And I know you are too. You wouldn't even be here. This is so like crazy. Like you're in Colorado doing an interview with us, and it's because of that spark. There's like some electricity of just something there, because it's like we're both from two different sides of the tracks in a sense.
True indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
True indeed.
But when certain things connect, they just connect. And I think that's dope, and it's cool that you address that. And seeing this new wave, because what I believe is the tidal wave's coming. Like I believe the tidal wave that I felt like you deserved during your career, right? Of getting highlighted with certain things, like it's on the way, because technology is able to capture these moments that you've been capturing for all these years, but because of not having the technology to, you know, purpose
over
it.
A decade, you know,
so
making moments.
Yeah, so it's super exciting to see, and I just believe that everything in a sense has been done under the sun. And so there's only so many ways we can hear people rap songs, right? And there's like, oh, now it's grime, now it's trap, now it's sad boy or whatever. But with freestyle, it is always special because it's always in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like you're making a moment.
It's like a big box of chocolates.
You know?
You never
So
know what you're gonna get.
that's super fresh. Now, with all of the current state of freestyle, I think one of the things that I wanted to highlight is because I didn't realize this about you. So you make your own beats. You got your, what is it? The drum joint?
Machine.
The drum machine.
Yeah, machine.
So you got the drum machine. You have like a puppet where you do like this.
I let him introduce the beats. Yeah. His name is Dungles. It's kind of like Dungles. Like people ask me about that a couple of times now. Like, what's up with the puppet? So I started to bring him, but you know, I'm always like, no, don't bring him. I was like, but anyway, Dungles kind of came around from my friend. He had a group called the Puffets. His name is Judd, and it was during COVID. All of the homies was bored as shit. So he started making puppets of us, right? And I didn't think I was
started crocheting.
like, so I didn't think that I was going to be down with the squad. But one day we were at another sound studio, and they had him and his other buddy Machete. They had the two puppets out, and I just thought the shit was funny as hell. But they had like a little frog one that looks like probably one of his first ones that he made, kind of like laying to the side. And I picked it up and I started rapping with the puppet on it, and they was dying laughing. They was like, oh, this shit is hilarious. And they was like, have you done this before? And I was like, yeah. I said, when I would go to like the Halloween stores and shit, I would pick the puppet up and, do little silly shit, make the homies laugh. So the next time I went over to the sound studio, they was like, yo, we got something in the corner for you. There was a little sheet. And I pulled the sheet off and it was done. It was the puppet. It was supposed to be me. But as soon as I put him on, I went into a Jamaican patois type accent and I started to talk like this, when I get dungas upon my hand. And so I was like, yo, I just keep this as him thing, and I just call him dungas. And so I started doing that, and I was thinking, like, how can I introduce this? Because I had never made a video with him. Like, I just was doing it with the homies. And so I was in the studio, and I was making beats, and I was like, I wonder if I put this little wire on his hand and hit the drum pads, will the pads, like, connect? And so I changed the sensitivity of the pads.
Yeah.
And so, sure enough, like, when he hits it and I'm rocking his head and I make sure I'm out of the shot and everything, it's some funny TV. I swear. Like, it makes for some funny TV because the whole concept with Dungles is like, he's not, he's my manager, but he exaggerates everything. So, like, that was my whole thing. And it used to be a joke. Dungles was actually me just being backstage, fucking with people in the accent and talking shit. And then when that puppet came, it kind of evolved into that. And I'm actually trying to develop that into something because during COVID, a lot of people reached out and they was like, yo, this is brilliant. Yeah. Please keep doing these. Like they're funny. You need to push harder. And it was funny. I seen a puppet that's even more crude than Dungles, and it's just way more crude. It's this one dude and his mom online, and they do videos. And I thought, I didn't know that he had like 400 million views.
Jeez.
And the puppet is funny as look. It looks like he glued this together in like art class or some shit. Judd, he kind of put a little bit more dimension. But even with Dungles, like my cousin, he's a straight G. He's a gangster dude, street dude. He called me. He was like, yo, my nigga, that Dungles shit is funny. Like, and I'm like, you like that of all people?
Yeah.
Like, you got bodies. No, I'm joking. but
We're talking about ladies.
Yeah. But
stripes on the belt.
Yeah, ladies. But no, for real though. So just as funny, and even down to that, hip hop was still part of it because like I'll have him come into the scene, and it was a way to promote my beats actually. And I would always go, yo, Nacho, leave a beat up. Let me ask you what to make. And then Dungles would hit the beat, and I'd start talking to him. I'm really talking about, yo, Nacho, you're a genius. But it's a puppet saying the shit. So it became something. I still work on it from time to time. Actually, I got some new Dungle videos coming real soon. So stay tuned for that. That's something that I definitely want to develop. Even the puppets, like, so the whole concept of the puppets was, like I said, it was all the homies, and we were supposed to shoot videos if we could get outside during COVID and then send them in to him, and then we would put them in the little montages of all of us. We had one dude, it was a skate kid. He was really a skater. Dude made a puppet. The other dude was a little gangster homie, really made him a puppet. So he made us all. I was the only one that kind of evolved my character into something else.
That's tight. And I never knew, I always knew you for rapping, freestyling, and that's what I knew you for. And so when I saw the puppet, the beat creation, the other thing is you do fashion design, and then you do original artwork pieces that are very meticulous and detailed. And it's just an incredible feat that I don't think's been highlighted. Like, I was like, yo, and then you were showing me some new stuff that I ain't seen from your artwork collection. And I'm like, this is incredible. And that's just, when I tap in with someone who's like a true artist, it's inspirational. You know what I'm saying? And people that take it serious and really, you keep creating. And I don't know, that's just very inspirational.
I always
to me.
told myself that even if I never got paid and I'm an old man, I'm still going to, even when I'm old and gray, like, I'm still going to be creating. Like, it's no reason to ever stop being a creative person. It's freedom. Like, even with the art, the reason that I started the art and I picked the particular style that I picked, I had seen like, I don't know if it was a monk or, one of those dudes that trained Shaolin. He said that one of the things that they did to center the mind was find the tiniest bead and thread the bead in a pattern, the tiny ones, and then break it and start over. And it said that it was an exercise for your mind. So when I started painting, instead of me just using regular strokes, I would use dots. And, and some of the dots would be textured. It was like stippling. And so the only way that you could paint the picture was one dot at a time. So it made me slow down my mind, slow down my thinking, recalibrate myself, you know. And art does the canvas never talks back. You know, like, so that's the dope part about painting. So what I did was, once I finished, like, I got like 40 pieces. I was like, how can I introduce this to the world? You know, and my idea was take all the arts and combine it. So we rented a gallery in downtown LA. I hung the whole show. Me and my lady, we hung the whole show ourselves, and 45 pieces on the wall. And instead of people just coming in and looking at the art, I had a precise moment once the crowd got in where I would say, hey, I would come out from the back, hey, my name is Supernat, welcome to the first art show of its kind. I'm now getting ready to curate this show through freestyle. And then I would put on a beat and I would go through every painting that I painted off the dome and explain to people what the concept was, why I painted it, you know, and do this all the way till I would get around the whole gallery and stop. And I'm gonna tell you something, like, I've did it like 4 or 5 times. Excuse me. I've did it like 4 or 5 times now, and where I'm at right now is like, man, I want to keep doing it because it really opened up another channel in me that I was like, man, this is like a high form of creativity. Like, I'm freestyling about some shit that took me days and days to paint and to construct. And not only that, I do these 3D pieces where I make the art come off the canvas. Like, that was me pushing my brain. I remember my godfather told me, like, when I left New York, he said the king creates the kingdom with his own hands. And it was almost like this little metaphor that he gave me. And I remember, like, chasing this metaphor my whole life. And that's why I've gotten better at everything that I do, because I'm like, okay, I can make beats with my hands. I can draw with my hands. I can box with my hands, you know. And so I can cook with my hands. So I started delving into each one of these realms. And it just broadened my perspective as a creative, you know?
Yeah, that's incredible. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I saw it. And when I saw the small details, I'm just like, yo, this is like, and it's like, it jumps out too. And I'm like, this is just incredible. And it's just so cool to get to know other sides of an artist, especially when there's layers to your art. From, you know, someone might just be like, oh, he's a battle rapper. Oh, he's a freestyle. Or he's a rapper. It's like, nah. He embodies the art. He embodies all these things.
Creativity.
Like, yes.
You ever seen Charlie Tuna's art?
No, I haven't.
Another master. A master.
That's
like,
wild.
I watched Charlie Tuna do something, like, for me, like, people watch me do stuff and they're like in awe. But so me and Charlie have been friends for many years. We toured all around the world together, and I knew he could draw, but I didn't know he could oil paint as well as paint with aerosol cans. Like, Charlie can, like, really paint you as you are. Like, but I went to his house one morning. We was in the back, and he had a black wooden board up that he was getting ready to paint for someone. And I just watched him. He kept looking at the board, and I was thinking, like, what is he getting ready to do? And he went over with his fingernail. And when you scratch on a black board, it comes out white, you know? Mm-hmm. And he sketched a whole giraffe with his fingernail. And I'm sitting there watching him like, what am I watching right now?
That's funny. My homie loves giraffes. I'm going to have to snap that up for him.
And I'm like, that's, you know, I've seen him paint before. I was like, Charlie, that's how you do that? And it just blew my mind. And then the other day, he sent me a picture of T-Rex that he was painting, and the bottom jaw wasn't finished, but it had all of these words in it, and I seen my name, and I was like, then it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, that's something else he does. He draws pictures. I don't know if I'm giving up, but, like, he draws pictures, and then he letters them all in before he paints over them. I don't know if it gives him more depth or what it does, but the man is amazing, you know. And that's the thing. It's like most MCs that I've met in my journey, like Pharoah Monch is an ill artist. Breeze Everflowing is an ill artist. Actually, Breeze Everflowing did like 2 pieces for me back in the day, like that we were going to use for either a T-shirt or an album cover. Like, there's a lot of dope cats out there. Qbert can draw. Like, it's like Rep Matic I seen draw one time in the back of a bus. Like, there's a lot of people that you wouldn't believe that are really good at art, you know, and that's why I wanted to introduce my art to the world. Like, and I sold my first piece a couple years back for, like, you know, $3,000, and that was, to me, that was a milestone for me. 3 is the magic number, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. So, you know, I was able to get that off. But yeah, man, just being able to do artwork like that and then incorporate that in. And remember too, making the beats the beats that I'm using in that when I do the curation freestyle, I make those too.
Yeah.
So it's like this one big amalgamation of me in the room. I hope that maybe I could figure out a way to bring this show up here, you know, and it's just about transporting the art because some of the pieces are pretty big.
Yeah.
But maybe we could rent a van and make it a weekend and y'all drive down, we pick the art up and we drive back up here to Colorado and maybe present the show and, you know, sell some prints, sell some merch. Because that's really what it's for, you know, is to just introduce my art to the world.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be amazing. So I have to ask, how long have you been painting for?
I've been drawing since I was a youth. But the first time I actually hit a canvas or tried to put something on canvas would have been about 11 years ago, 12 years ago maybe.
Okay.
And I started, with me, I like to start small, and I actually gave this one away to a friend. I wish I had kept it now because it was one of the first ones, but I called him Big Chief on a little canvas. And the canvas was only about this big, you know. But I packed so many dots into this little chief head, and I gave it to a friend of mine as a gift. So I think from there, it just evolved. Now I have canvases all over the house. You know, I got canvas outside, you know, that's waiting to be painted on. So, you know, it's fun. For me, it was a great escape. You know, during COVID, I painted a lot. And because I had time on my hands. And, you know, they say an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So I created my workshop in the house and, you know, made sure that I kept my hands busy during that time.
Yeah, I had to learn how to shoot a bow at that time. I had to have something. So I picked up a bow, started shooting. And how long have you been making beats for?
Oh, forever.
Okay.
Like, I had my first, I guess it would be a drum machine. I would say I was a junior in high school. I had my first encounter with like even making beats. My mother had bought me it was called the Sensonic drums.
Okay.
And it was a little black box and it had four little round pads. You could play it with sticks or you could play it with these little pads. Mm-hmm. And it had like you could actually record the beat. You couldn't sample into it or nothing, but that was probably what helped me with my rhythm and my timing at such an early stage. And shout out to my mother because she was very instrumental in feeding that creativity. Like if there was something, I wasn't a spoiled kid, but I definitely, if it was something that I knew could like help me evolve, I'd ask for it most of the time. And I didn't ask for a lot. Like a bag of markers for when I was young, to me was like the dopest shit.
Yeah.
You could sit around and draw all night. So I've been doing that shit for years now. I'd say over 30 years of just drawing. But when I decided to put it on canvas, it just opened me up to the potential of doing something great. It's like pushing the line, you know, like, I mean, I freestyle about shit people hand me. I can do 3 words. I can rap a word generator. But, okay, Nat, how do you evolve now?
Yeah.
You know, even for myself, that's a question I had to ask myself. Like, how can I push my shit a little bit further? And that's what I started doing, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing because if you started like 11, 12 years ago, you're like 40-something, right? And I think a lot of people just stop pushing themselves to like grow or to try new things or to, you know, just get so settled in their life. And I think that's like a key lesson is to always be challenging yourself. I mean, you are who you are today because of those challenges, and then just saying like, okay, I'm going to pick up, do you do oil or?
I use acrylics, and I use this other paint where it's kind of like a stippling paint. Okay. It's textured.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I put them in bottles. I don't want to give it my full technique, but I got a little way that I do it.
You got the mixture down, the secret recipe.
Little formula.
So on the topic of creation, I wanted to ask you, good sir, would you be down to freestyle again for us?
Absolutely.
Now, with the freestyle, I didn't know how this works. Would you be down to demonstrate the 3 MCs?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would love. Yeah. Don, have you seen the 3 MCs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joey's behind the cameras. Have you seen the 3 MCs before? Okay, great. Well, we in a room full of people who are familiar.
Most people have seen 3 MCs, but I'll do it. Let's see how it comes out.
Yeah, let's just and for me it's special because I told y'all MFers that it's freestyle off the top, but you know, people. All right, let's figure out which joint would you want to do that over.
Just whatever beat you play, we'll see what we come with.
You want to do this one?
Yeah, let's see. So I'm gonna do it a little different since y'all think it's not freestyle. We don't gotta even put the hook in it, right?
Okay.
So this is the way we do it. Now understand, listen up, little kids. Yo, I've never did a bid. I'ma bring you in my mind exactly now where I live. I am never primitive, no, not a little smidge. Last night I had a premonition of my brother Big. Big was talking to Supernat. For a fact, he said Supernat. Yo, brother, can you bring me back? Right and exact, yo, I know what I do. Check 1, 2, there's no one nastier than you. Big, you're the greatest to demonstrate it. The way you touch the mic, yo, and then you teach the natives. Yeah, I sat down and debated, and you know that he's great. Yo, we never stop rocking, we pumping it state to state. Then I debate, yeah, I did it by design. What if Biggie got on the phone with Busta Rhymes, and Busta Rhymes would say, yo, Big, we rock this way. When we put it down like this, yo, nigga, we don't play. Okay, sit back, relax, sit back. Supernatural Biggie Smalls and the homeboy Nat, all on one track, yo, that's amazing. What if DMX came in and the shit started blazing? These niggas never knew that I walked through the fog. Grr, tell you what, they can't fuck with the dog. Now for all of y'all that thought that I wasn't freestyling facts, this is just another memoir of the Supernat. Way I rotate on the track when I do pick. So slick, on point like a toothpick. He's too quick. Hey, excuse me. Yo, it's Slick Rick, and all the people that didn't believe, get off his dick. Yeah, that's the way we spit. He's nice. When it comes to freestyling, yo, the boy don't write. That's right, Ricky D. We just keeping it light. I'm up here right now. I'm just blessing the mic. My third sight is my vision. My mind is my mission. I took the scalpel out and I made my incision. You're not. You're the greatest that ever done it. They never wanted. I don't know why they keep talking. These niggas fronted. I stay blunted. Black, get them off their knees. Do the degrees. Let's talk the little C's. Hey, tell you what, we loving that. Puffy got so scared. Yo, we gave the publishing back right in exact. Black, yo, you know that it's great. But Diddy, yo, I'm telling you, man, it's too late. Put the cake on the plate and chop it. That's the way I drop it. Freestyle straight out the pocket.
Yeah.
Hello?
So just a different version, but still to show you that, you know, it's like when you personify them in your flow, I gotta make that up in the moment. I you know, it's just like, and I try to beat him to a degree, you know, that was all part of the play, you know?
Yo, that was crazy because you told the whole freaking story. I'm like feeling like I'm in a room, a round table with these MCs. You brought up the Diddy, but the coolest thing was because on the internet, people are like, well, prove it was a freestyle. You literally start, because I said that people said it was written, you call it out. Like, I'm like, bro.
There will still be one hater out there that's like, no, they planned this beforehand.
It's all good.
There's
though.
always
You know
one.
what? I think that's a part of the lore of the internet. It's like there's always that one or a couple of them, and sometimes the canter that goes back with just two of them in the session sometimes is funny, you know. But yeah.
The thing is like I can just tell. I mean, you're a man of honor and principle, so it's like, you know, regardless of what people think, it's like you live by a code. There's, you know what I mean? So you're going to freestyle because that's what you do.
Absolutely. I mean, like, that's the way I get through, you know, and, you know, and I'm not the most flawless cat, but I know that when a diamond comes out, before it's uncut, it's still beautiful, you know, metaphorically speaking. And then you cut it up and make it and break it into pieces and reform it and all of that. But, you know, the diamond in the raw is just as beautiful as a diamond when it's cut, you know, because you actually lose a little bit, you know, when you start cutting it up a little too much, you know what I mean? You know, so I always look at myself as that, like, you know, pushing it forward, you know, and also, like you said, being a man of principle at the end of the day, like, freestyle is my life. So when a beat comes on, naturally, that's what I want to do. Like, I always told myself, the day that I don't feel a little fluttery in my stomach, or the day that I don't like have that good feeling after I rhyme, that's the day I hang it up, and I still get those good feelings. I still get butterflies in my stomach before I go on stage. I still get nervous. You know, I have to go find a corner and gather myself before I rock, and you know, call the spirits down to come stand beside me on stage and you know, present myself. And you know, that's really like the whole essence of who Supernat is like, it's bigger than, you know, no pun intended, it's bigger than hip hop with me, you know. This is a spiritual walk. Like, verbal self-defense is a real thing. I live the code of the freestyle samurai, per se. You know, I'm like a rap Ronin.
Yeah. No, the whole verbal self-defense is bonkers. Just the title is just bananas. I love it. there was a couple of things. We're almost 2 hours in, you guys. If you're enjoying this interview, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Before we ride off into the sunset, we were talking about this in the car, and I thought it was interesting because there's this commonality where there's this cult audience that understands the difference between a freestyle off the top in the moment versus a written freestyle. And we call those radio writtens because it's a free verse. We get it.
It's been a debate.
Yeah. There's always these conversations where they're like, yo, Biggie, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, go into the booth, one, take it. And they don't write. And I was always like, well, are they freestyling? Like, is it pre-written in their mind? Like, and I wondered your take on this as being the OG, and then even, having, even your history with Biggie and stuff like that. I was curious because, that's one of the things where when I see these things said over and over on these platforms, I'm always curious, like, okay, how does this work? Are they just, there had been times where I've written a whole verse, and I focused on like kind of just coming up with it. It took time, like, days in the head, like, yo, I got these 4 bars, kept saying I'm coming up with other stuff.
I think that people call head writing freestyling, and I think there's a difference. Head writing is when you're walking around in the room and you're kind of like mumbling to yourself, nice. And you start building on like that. That's head writing. I think that's what Jay-Z and Lil Wayne are talking about. Not to take anything from them. Maybe they do go in and one take Jake. But even for me, like I used to pride myself on being able to go in and do that. But it's not an easy thing because remember, when you're rapping and you're going for one take, you gotta have inflection, you gotta have character, you gotta have delivery, you gotta have flow. And a lot of times that doesn't come right off the top. Like most of the time, you can freestyle around in the lab. And as far as Biggie was concerned, like I explained to someone, there was a article in Double XL magazine years ago where Big was in there, and I'm reading the article and I get down to a point and they asked Biggie about freestyling in the article, and Big said, no, I leave that freestyle shit, and he said it in these exact words, he said, I leave that freestyle shit to niggas like Lord Finesse and Supernat. They just jump up on stage and do some ill ass shit. And he said, me, I'm more like the pen. I like to really get my shit across. But and even as I was saying that, I was thinking of like those moments that I was telling you about. Another one for me was Big Pun on the New York Giants. It's a song called New York Giants with MOP, and he had one of the illest metaphors ever. And I was like, oh shit, that was a good one. He said, I'm shooting at you, and that's off of the top like Supernatural. I leave your body dead and stiff like a Medusa statue. Right? And I remember the first day I heard it, I was like, yo. And for me, this shit like that makes you feel good. Like,
yes.
And that's a good one. And so I ended up using that sample later on in a song, Yeah, shooting at you, that's off of the top. Like, I think Evidence produced it. Yeah, it's a song called Off Top that's produced
Shout
by
out
Evidence.
to Ev. Hell yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, man, I'm done, bro.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
This has been a really dope chop up for me because you guys, I've watched the show. I've seen some of my homies on this show, and I see the way that y'all approach it, and keep doing it this way. Like, keep pushing the envelope, fellas. Try to find some of the most interesting guests that you can get up here and push the envelope. This is adding to the culture. Like, I once heard that, like, if you're not putting into the culture and you ain't putting nothing back into the culture, then you shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I'm glad to see this, and it's inspiring me. I'm looking at this and I'm like, Nat, you could do this. Easy, you a smart cat.
Shoot, I'll help. Whatever you need.
Yeah.
He's the one who got all the tech set up.
I just watch YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I watch YouTube videos to figure out how to do YouTube. I didn't know how to do any of this.
I'm not a tech dude.
No,
he helped set this up, and once I understand how to play, record, I'm like a workhorse.
So many people have told me so many times and so many occasions, like, I was trained and poised to be on the radio. Like, when I got on the radio, like, I really knew how to present myself as a host. I knew how to interview cats, make them feel comfortable in their skin, have some fun, and to have those 2 hours on the radio, kind of poised me for this. And even as I was sitting here, I was just looking around, and I'm like, yo, you can set this up. You know, I got these kind of cameras at home. I got a couple of them. You know, my lady has a couple of those lights. Like, I just never thought about, you know, and once again, this goes back to pushing the creative level again. Like, it's getting ready to happen again. There's getting ready to be a boom, you know, in my life again where I push it to the next level, you know. And right now I've been doing some good work. I'm actually getting ready to do this thing with Google, with Young Coders of America. And, you know, they fly me out to the Google offices to show, you know, how freestyling could even be part of coding. And I'm like, how this is going to happen, I don't know. But, you know, these kids are so smart now. And to go into a room of them is going to be a challenge. Like, you know, what can I do to impress these brainiacs, right?
Oh.
These young brainiacs.
Now
too.
you got me nervous because I'm like, they're going to make a Terminator freestyle
bot
bot.
or some shit, right?
I'm
But
coming
no,
for your head.
Yeah, so like,
Hasta la vista.
my man hit me from Google and was like, yo, we want to bring you through. So, you know, a lot of good things have been happening for me right now, and I'm just going with the flow again. And I want to say this, you know, wholeheartedly to anybody out there that might have been offended by my statements about the way that I feel about any particular MC that's in the game. Remember, we all have opinions and we're all entitled to them at the end of the day. How you perceive them on the other end of the camera is left up to you. And when I say that's left up to you, that's left up to your own opinion, how you interpret it. But never think for 1 minute that I would sit up here and be arrogant enough to know that I didn't feed the game and the game didn't feed me. You know, that's what the infinite symbol stands for. It's just the 8 turned sideways, you know what I mean? And when you turn it sideways, it's like a circle that continues forever, you know. And sometimes I apologize for being poetic, but I make no apologies for what I say right now, is that we all have to continue to contribute and push the game higher. If you're comfortable with where you are as an artist right now, then make yourself uncomfortable to get comfortable again. That's the whole sweet science of stringing the beads and breaking them. That's the whole sweet science of doing something that's tedious and time consuming. You know, it slows you down. And to all of my people out there, take a good hard break from the net. There's a reason that it's called that.
I need to.
There's a reason why it ensnares you. There's a reason why it captures you. It cultivates you. It does things to our mind that I don't even think we are fully aware of at this present moment. Do we need it? Yes. To build a house, you need a hammer and a whole bunch of other shit. But at the end of the day, it's still a hammer. So remember, your phone is just a phone. I used to put a quarter in it to call home. Now I can call around the world free. And also understand that when you do have the net, you don't have to be bound to your one territory. It's what you look up and what you study that can open your mind up to greater gifts. So that's just a little gem from that, you know, just for anybody out there that might be going through that. Addiction is real, and it's not only physical drugs that people are addicted to. You know, you got young kids that have screen addictions and, you know, all of these things where they can't even sleep without the phone. They cry. So we have to understand the black mirror is a slippery slope, and we all walk on it. We all enjoy it. But, you know, just like when you go out and drink, they say in moderation, you know, you go out and drink and you get behind the wheel of a car, you know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing when you put any of these devices in your hands and use them, you know, for good or bad, because, man, there's a lot of wicked shit out there that's going on. And I pray for the world as I sit here as an MC, an artist, a friend, fellow musician, you know, like I pray for the world that, you know, we evolve. You know, technology is great, but it's also, it's moving so fast that we can't keep up with it. And, you know, AI is changing the world. I'm AI. Did you know that? African intelligence at its best. So
Let's go.
drop
Yo.
that.
Yo. It's wild because I treat technology similar to money. It's an energy and it's a tool. And like you said, a hammer could be used to build a house, but it also could be used to like you get your head bust. So that's facts. Man, this was just a vibe. As we start getting ready to ride off into the sunset, Don, was there anything else you wanted to tackle?
And it done.
Yeah. I'm just still feeling like in a little bit of shock because, you know, we had talked about doing this podcast for years.
Yeah.
And when it first started, it was kind of a different thing, and then it's evolved into this. And, you know, I had pulled him into freestyling because I was more into the freestyling space. He used to write. I would write as well. But to me, like an MC, the name of what an MC embodies, that should be what you do. It should be a part of what you do. You could write, but you should also be able to freestyle. I was whatever, bullheaded.
We're
Long
young
story
men.
short, yep, young man, we're freestyling the back of your Ford Festiva, on our way to lunch.
That's where it starts, in the
And
car.
then I just, dropped out. I stopped engaging with the music for certain reasons, but it was like, and I would try to get back into it at certain points, and I just felt stuck. Like I just couldn't break loose. It was like I would try, and I'm like, man, I guess I lost it. And he pushed me and was like, yo, we're going to freestyle next week. And I'm like, dude, I haven't freestyled in like 10, 15 years. Like, not really. Like, I've tried, and it's been, and so here we are a year later, and we're with one of the greats of all time. It's like I never would have imagined that would have led to this. And I just feel, blessed to be here in this moment, to have these conversations, to be able to sit and dine with you, to, talk with you outside. And really just wanted to reiterate that, you were a huge motivation in my life to engage for what it's worth with the art. And it gave me many blessings in my life. You know what I mean? I was a little short, fat, chubby too. Like, I got up on the mic and I was pulling girls. And I'm like, yo, if I didn't have that, you know what I mean? I would have been stuck.
I'm telling
I
you,
would have
it's
been
a
taking
great
L's in the game.
It's a great confidence builder. That's why I said, like, freestyling, you put yourself out there because there's no net.
Yeah.
It's like tightrope walking without a net. It's like, yo, if I get up here and I mess up, I mess up. But my whole thing was, when you mess up, like my father always said, you tuck in, you put your nose down, you tuck your chin, and you keep going. You might hit the canvas a couple of times, but you gotta keep pushing forward. And that's the dope part about even meeting with y'all today. For me, it's like I get to see my history rewind through other people so many times. Because remember, technology wasn't there. So my tech is when somebody walks up and goes, hey, 1986, you were at such and such college, and I was in the front row, and I handed you and they'll know exactly what it was they gave me. And, those moments for me are some of the best ones. It's like when people come up and they're like, yo, man, and I get a lot of that sometimes on the net, like when I might forget, or another way, like I say, that hip-hop spirit has its way. Everybody has a grumpy day or a day off where they just don't feel like it. I remember one time I was in a store, and this dude, like, first I go on one aisle, he's there. On the next aisle, and he's there again. I'm like, third or fourth aisle. And somebody, I see that, I'm getting mad. I see this motherfucker. Get him, say something, you know what I mean? So, I come around the corner, he's kind of standing there again. And finally, I was like, yo, what's up? He's like, Supernat? I was like, yeah. Yo, bro, I see you. And it was like one of these moments, and I'm like, I had to pull back once again and go, yo, you never know who you might have affected in your journey, whether good or bad. So try to always make the best impression, and I've had that a million times over. I've had way more good with freestyle, and I'll be very specific outside of the industry. I've had way more good with freestyle and being a stage performer than I've had bad, and even now to this very day, that's still a big part of who I am. So
Yeah, that's epic. Now, to tie into what you were saying, you pulled me into freestyle, but I pulled you into working out. Because you're like, I was pudgy. I always used to clown, and it made
He
him.
used to call me lard ass, and then he shortened it to L.A. What's up, L.A.? And then my chubby friend, who I hadn't seen for years, for like a couple years because he moved, came back, and he was like, what's up, lard ass? And I was like, dude, did you go talk to Rob? Like, how did you, of all things to call me? And it like clicked in my head, and I was like, man, I gotta go start hitting the weights, start eating right.
it's a big part of it. I mean, that's part of preservation and self-help, man.
Yep.
A lot of people out there don't get that opportunity to get up and walk or get out. So I take advantage of it wholeheartedly. I remember I told somebody, hey, if anybody out there that's starting on the jump rope, here's a great workout. I told Pharaoh Monches, he thought it was cool. By the way, that's another whole story. They produce music for me too. But Pharaoh, I told him, I said, hey, man, he said, yo, I see you on the jump rope. He said, you kind of nice on that rope. I was like, yeah, I like it because it's rhythmic, and that's really why I started jumping rope. But the way that I would do it is pick 3 of your favorite songs, jump on the verses, rest on the hooks, or jump through the whole 3 if you can.
Yep.
But if you can't, rest on the hooks. As soon as the verse starts, jump again. I guarantee you, be one of the best workouts. And as you get better, add more songs till you get like 7 songs. And that's a great workout.
Do you ever put on instrumentals and freestyle while you jump rope?
Absolutely. It helps with your breath control. And also helps with your coordination too. Like that's something that I'm still working on that. Like that's something that jump rope, I love it. Like that was what was my gateway into working out.
Yeah.
I remember I was on tour with Redman and Smith & Wesson, and we were in Beaverton, Oregon, and the Nike outlet was there, and we went and they hooked us up with a bunch of shit, and I bought a jump rope, and Redman, just being the jokes that he is, he calls me Super Hat, by the way. It's a joke, and I always be like, please stop calling me that. He's like, yo, Hat. He was like, you only bought that fucking rope because it got Nike switches on it. Your ass ain't never gonna jump that rope. And I remember I started jumping rope outside the back of the bus, like on tour, and they was laughing. They was like, yo, he's really out there, like in the back of the bus, skipping the rope. And I remember I was horrible at first. I jumped like a caveman, just like like that type of shit. But then I said, yo, you Supernat, man. You prime. You nice with it. Start add a little sauce to that shit. Yeah. I started watching videos, and next thing you know, I get on the rope. I get a nice little movement going, you know. That's the tight. That's the MC's bike right there for anybody that's out there. Because if you listen to the rhythm, you know you're doing it right. If that shit ain't rhythmic, if that shit the beat sounds a little quirky, you're not doing it right.
There you have it.
Dude, shout out to Pharoah Monch. I mean, that's one of my favorite MCs of all time. His verse on Metal Things. You brought him up a couple times, so I just had to throw that out there.
My favorite Pharoah Monch verse possibly of all times is Hypnotical Gases. And honestly, that was the first time. And before we go, I got to say this. Have you ever heard that rhyme where he says, I ascend in helicopters in a village raid. Flesh will burn when exposed to the poetical germ grenade. That I'm highly intoxicating your mind. Ooh, yeah, when I'm operating on cell walls to membranes, cytoplasms, and protoplasms, eliminate them, disintegrate them as I'm in battle. I display a nuclear raid that'll destroy bone marrow and cattle. And then there's a part where he says, I threw a rock and I ran, but I couldn't stand anymore the depths of the sand. So don't ask me who's sane, because these hypnotical gases are eating my brain. And I remember when I first heard him say that, I was like, what? Hold up. I threw a rock and I ran. I couldn't stand any more the depths of the sand. Don't ask me who's sane, like Saddam Hussein. It's just like shit like that to me.
Yeah, people don't know. I feel like there's certain people, they just don't know.
Pharaoh is a genius.
Yeah. In Vitro, that song In Vitro.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
We just had a little nerd out. We had a nerd out Pharaoh moment. It's okay.
Yeah, you brought him up a couple times, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah. Man. Okay, we could talk hip hop forever. We're gonna ride off into the sunset. The way we're gonna do this, we got to kick a freestyle. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now I'm trying to think of the way to do this. I was thinking, Don, you get it started, right?
Okay.
What do you want to do? Because what I'm thinking is this: like, I'm the student. We got the sensei here. I'm going to try. Well, I'm not going to try. You either do or do not do. Bruce Lee, holla at your boy. I'm going to do the 3-word routine, and I'll have the one and only OG, icon legend, the creator of the 3-word routine here to let me know where am I in pocket? What do I need to do better, etc. So I don't know what you want to do. I know I've been working on the 3-word routine. Mm-hmm. Do you want to do the word generator? I do the 3-word routine, and then maybe if Supernat feels so generous, maybe he'll do a get together. Yeah,
I could go either way. I'll leave it up to the master. What do you think? Should I do the 3 words or should I do the generator?
Go generator.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Let's see what you're gonna do.
All right, let me find I got beats everywhere.
I don't have butterflies at all.
That means you're alive.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up on the screen so people can see we have a good time. All right, you guys, you know what it is. Make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribe. We're about to kick some freeze and then ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. Here we go with the legend. In our presence, divine essence. Every day that I'm living is a blessing. Yo, that's right, man. I'm out here with the reader. Out here, man, I am a greeter, never a retreater, always on the top. You know when I'm ripping it, you know I don't stop. Yeah, there's no time for the platitudes. I'm not here for the bad attitudes. Man, I'm just that dude. I'm trying to chill, I'm trying to heal, I'm trying to practice every day, combine the skill, yeah, until there ain't nothing left. Till my last breath and till my last step. That's right, up the staircase. That's right, man, it's fair, put it in place. Yeah, and you know that I nurture. Gotta change it up, the whole structure. Acupuncture, stick it in your brain. The way that I spit these lyrics is insane. And that's right, got shit like the pens. Yeah, man, I had to let go of the revenge and hit with the pen when I begin. So understand, man, I'm like the medicine when I'm getting in. Cause you got that fever until the day that I meet my reaper. I'm just a creature, say I'm a monster. Come out here on the mic and start to stomp the flow in the beat when I put it on repeat. That's right, man, there is no retreat. And that's right, cause I came to attack and no slack. We just joking, sometimes we wisecrack or just cracking, and that's rapping. We like, damn, what the hell just happened? My life flashing before my eyes, and now I'm sitting here with Nat. What a damn surprise. I realize that I am so touched and blessed, and so I speak and I must confess the stress. I get it off my chest until I rest at sunrise. So understand I enterprise and wake up every day with gratitude to switch it up. Yeah, that's that new mood. So understand there is no despair. I'm out here, woo, just like Ric Flair. I don't care. So let me explain. I'm just here trying to spread some love and entertain and spit the flames. I won't harass because you understand that I'm spitting that math. I'm never gassed like helium. That's right, all this whack shit, man, I'm defeating them. And I ain't a statistic. I'm out here, change it up with the characteristics. In case you missed it, I'm in charge like a battery, not here for the damn flattery. Yeah, so that's right, I'm like Sean Connery, the Don G. So understand 007, man, until I reach heaven, I conceive. Yo, I speak what I believe, man, it slips through like a sieve. Sands of time that I bust in my rhyme. And that's right, man, I gotta trust I gotta serve you like you were a customer. Yeah, and I ain't here to slaughter. I got love for the sons and daughters. Yeah, so I'm just here doing it fast. And that's right, man, I gotta have to pass the mic to the legend in just a second so he can rep it with the skills that are perfected. That's right,
here's
man.
Something that you can trust. Now let me give some good creaks and sit down and discuss. And with the syncopation, yeah, all you had to do was make some variations and then start to dance. I love the way you jumped up and took your chance. You got freestyle skills and they well advanced.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yo, tight. All right, man. So those freestyle sessions been paying off a little bit.
Yeah, I did all right. It's not my best, but it's not my worst either.
But hey, the effort is there, and the words were said. That's the main thing, and that's how you get better, people. That generator is nothing but a exercise machine. It's like when you go to the gym. He just exercised his mind. You know, he stretched the elasticity of his brain to be able to, you know, let all that information come out. And that's what freestyle is. You know, eventually verbal self-defense will be a class that you can attend. And I hope one day to look out across the audience and have 500 people in there, and we in there talking about the music the way that we did. So that's what you just did.
It's interesting you say that, because I look at it like hitting the bag or mitts, right? The word generator or doing like those exercises, and then being in the ring is more like when you're doing in-person stuff. Like let's say you're at Washington Square Park doing it live or doing a show. That's like the ring time, you know, and getting ready for the ring time is the sparring, the mitts, the bag, etc. So that's dope. All right, let's get it. 3 words. What we got?
3 words. Let's think of some good words for you. MMA.
MMA.
Let's see. Analytical.
Analytical. MMA. Analytical.
And Shaolin.
MMA. Analytical. Shaolin.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it. Yeah. Yo. I'm on the mic. and you know that I don't play. I come through bob and weave like Cassius Clay, but what you wanna say when it's a melee? Because I mix it up like this was MMA, yeah, but this ain't UFC, it's kinda critical, it's pivotal. I come through, it's instinctual. Yes, one time when I think it, fool, I bring it back and I drink it too, cause I've been drinking tea. You hear my voice going hoarse, but it's black Pegasus, so I have no remorse. Hey yo, I push it like the horses in a Porsche. If you don't understand, I bring the Magnum Force, just like Sean P and Rock and Ruck, and I freestyle for Supernat. That's what's up, hey yo. And when I come through in the paint and it's pivotal, they looking at me like my mind's analytical and get critical. Hey yo, metaphysical. This is how you do it, hey yo. I gotta rip it, fool, and this is my chance, the time to make it, yo. I got it covered like a blanket, yo, hey yo, I'm spitting the stank shit, the dank shit, like he rolled it up and had to rank it, yeah, the top shelf. Hey yo, you know it's stealth when I drop like a bomb. This is not for your health, it's for your wealth, your mental state of mind. When I freestyle like this, hey yo, I hit designs and different type of flows with the epiphany, and this is where I bring it to you. It's kind of trickery, yes. I'm in the monastery with the monks, freestyling. Hey yo, we ain't gonna slam dunk. I'm lifting the bucket, carrying up the hill to build my forearms. Hey yo, we train at will. I got the nunchaku. Hey yo, you run suck, dude. You wanna step up? Hey yo, I be like you, but yo, I censor it because I don't curse, and they give me that money straight out the purse. I cut off all of my head, all of my hair, because I wanted to get it ill and spit the flare. Yeah, I'm working it like the snare bender. Yeah, cause I'm the last airbender. Water, fire, air, and earth. When I freestyle like this, I give a rare birth. They looking at it, it's like the eagle talon. I come through, hey yo, I'm feeling like a stallion. Hey yo, I rock your neck like a medallion. I'm training up in the mountains, I'm up in Shaolin. I'm doing kung fu, but I got guns too. I pull it out, give them that 1, 2, hey yo, the pew pew, pow to the ping. When I freestyle like this, I'm jumping in the ring, taking it back to MMA. You know, like Conor McGregor, when I freestyle, kick yo in the head and the leg. Let's go.
Very good.
You're like, I got my last couple bars in my voice.
I was interested to see how you was going to touch it up, and that was dope. I really enjoyed that. Now, as far as critiques, just getting to the punchline a little quicker, but sometimes if you get to it too quick, sometimes it's knowing when to, after you hit your words. Like I like the way you did the Shaolin one, because I seen you walking up with the buckets. But see, it's very hard to start pulling data from your brain.
Telling a story. That's
and
why.
Trying to get to that word. It's easy to go like, I'm nice with the pen like Shaolin.
Yeah.
You know, but you was like, okay, let me spread it out a little bit and then walk the walk.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's like exercise. These are all exercises that, you know, will keep you sharp, man.
Yeah.
Keep doing that. Like, keep doing the word generator. Do it when nobody's around, you know. What you'll start to find is that you'll critique yourself, and you'll start to oil the rust parts, you know, and you'll start to figure out your style, you know. And that's for anybody out there that's trying to refine their freestyle, you know, or trying to refine what they do. Practice. Make your own ways of practicing too. Develop techniques, you know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
Each one teach one is what I was always told. So, you know, I want to be taught too, you know. And you did a great job, both of y'all. The first thing about freestyle is not having fear. I mean, neither one of y'all have that. Like, to sit up here and freestyle with Supernat sitting in the middle of you.
Oh, no. I had butterflies for sure. I haven't been this nervous on a podcast in a minute.
Like, yo.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
So, look, I think we got like 4 minutes at this point, because it was 6 a few minutes ago, like 2 minutes ago. Play a beat, man, so I could ride out in the sunset properly.
Let's go. Let's go. What we got here? I think this was one of
Yeah,
yours.
let's just hear something. I just want to get loose now real quick.
Let's go.
Let me use the headphones for this one.
I'm gonna bring it back. Let's go. This beat's a banger too.
Yeah. Can you turn these headphones up just a little bit?
Which one?
I think it's 2.
Is that it? Is it going up?
Yeah, there we go. No, I'm about to bar a little bit. I'ma show these cats right now how Supernat can spit. When it comes to spitting like this, I ain't never getting rich. I ain't never dug a ditch, but I still got the itch. Yeah, the trigger finger's always now on smash. I grab the microphone and flip the skip, put them on blast. Hey, I'm not a toy, yo, I search and destroy. I sat down with 40 old cats, they call them fuck boys. But see, not the fuck in the sense. They all get tense, the way they spelt it out, now it all makes sense. See, just supernatural, individual, critical, that touches the mic and makes every point pivotal. Knowing for a fact, right now we never lack. Yo, Pegasus, work on that shit with me and Harry Mack. Get us up here, sitting together, side by side, so we can flip the script and show them how we ride. I spit with pride, yeah, he's a super MC. I take the mic and break it down to the 3rd degree. It must be me. Anytime I rock it, yo, it's tragic. I close my eyes, my freestyle's telepathic. Knowing for a fact, now I see all black. If I can't see, it increases the free. Couldn't you tell? Yeah, I am not defenseless. I close my eyes so I can use all of my senses. I open them back up, I shine like sun. Spit lyrics off the top, he's #1. I don't carry guns, but I got a full clip. Yeah, tell you what, I'm not on that bullshit. I could walk on water and talk on air. God's coming, tell you what, y'all must prepare. I'll be there, yeah, standing on the front line. I could break his jaw now, yo, with a punchline. When it's crunch time, hey, brother, I am a monster. Shout out to my little brothers called Coast Contra. Hey, the way that they do it, you can tell that when they spit it, yo, brother, they rockin' it well. Do blast, too fast, yo, they spaz. Them the offsprings, yo, of my man Razkaz. Yeah, you better believe back, yo, the ease back. Niggas like Coast Contra, man, we need that. Yeah, they bringing it back like trees black. Roll them up and put them in the air. After I get done, I'ma smoke it everywhere. Like I said, I spit lyrics, they must prepare. When it comes to freestyle, yo, I was born to share. In every era of hip-hop, I was there. Yeah, I'm still here to get it clear. And never fear, don't call me an MC that dates from yesteryear. Yeah, still look good in the hood. I wouldn't change my style, brother, if I could. Everything that I've been through, yo, around the way made me exactly who I am right here today. A man that is mythical, super scientifical. Out of the ethers, yo, I could pull lyricals, walk on water like Jesus did and do miracles. This ain't nothing but some of that old Negro spiritual. Did you call me a Negro? Do you know how far the Negro? Do you know how far that he go? Yeah, I'm like JoJo Dancer. Throw my hands in the air like a Black Panther. Yeah, I'm Huey P. I'm Martin Luther King. I'm Malcolm X Farrakhan wrapped in one thing. Transform. I'm just getting warm. You can say I'm 53. I look good and I weathered the storm. This is the reason right now that I perform. When it comes to spitting like this, yo, I'm never the norm. You could better tell a friend in the meanwhile that when you witness me, you seen the real king of freestyle. Anytime you know what's next, yeah, you can feel the flex. Style so fucking fast, can't catch it in a Luminex. I'll never know what's next. I just feel it's coming short of Saturn. Notice the way I switch and change the patterns. Rub me, I gave gifts just like Aladdin. 360 degrees on the mic I'm batting. I enter the center like Master Splinter. Like how altitude I change your mood in Denver. What? Yeah! Super duper.
The sensei just gave me a side kick and a head kick and a leg kick, and then he tapped me out. Then he broke my knee. What the? I'm paralyzed. What the? Bro,
I had to take off one time.
Yo, he's sweating. He's sweating, you guys.
He said once he starts sweating.
Yeah. Yo, we're not worthy. We are not worthy. It's so crazy that my voice is doing this on this weekend. I don't get it, but this is freaking amazing. Thank you, MC Supernatural.
Yes, thank you.
From the depths of my heart and my soul, this was a really fun podcast to be on. You guys actually gave me some ideas for my own thing to do my thing, and I once again, like, I'm very thankful for these moments. This is another thing that I marked down in my career and in my musical journey that I'm like, yo, because I write a journal, man. I'm writing a book eventually about the things that have happened to me along the way, and this definitely will be part of that, as well as other things that have happened along the way. So thank y'all just as much, and all the hospitality too. These guys have treated me like a king since I've been here. I haven't wanted for nothing since I've touched down, and you know, that's how you're supposed to make an artist or OG feel. I don't really stand on that. I'm a very independent person, but they also made sure that, you know, whatever I needed, it was there. So salute to to my brothers right here from another mother and the 20-year-old fuck boys podcast. You know, I always had a thing with that. Yeah, but
Found the youth.
but yeah. But at the end of the day, this has been more than fun. I sat and watched this on my couch. Now I'm sitting here in the chair. Yeah. So, big ups to them, man. And big up to all the MCs out there in the world that are still pushing the culture forward. Coast Contra, like salute to those young men, like for really taking the game and taking it back,
We got to do a review. We'll do Breathe and Stop.
And being youthful, and being youthful the way they are. So, just I'm very thankful to still be part of it. And thank you, Kane, for telling me what you told me. Now I will sit on my throne as the OG that I am. And, if y'all want to build, just hit me up, on Instagram, MC Supernatural on Instagram. That's where I post most of my content for now, or you can find me on Facebook at MC Supernatural. Or Rico Price, or you can reach out to us on the website at mcsupernatural.com. And if anybody's interested in, learning the gentle art of verbal self-defense, please contact me in the inbox, and we can discuss, how I can become your sensei or teach you some of the things that I've learned along the way,
Before we tap out, Don, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
I don't know what else to say after that, man. I mean, I think we covered all the bases just about, so...
All right. What I'd like to say is he gave a plug to his website. Make sure you're supporting MC Supernatural. He has merchandise. He's doing artwork. He tours. So just stay tapped in as he, we're in this is another chapter of his career that we're seeing unfold. I thought this was a beautiful thing. I'm super excited for future collaborations between us, whether it's in person, online. I'm excited for collaborations in the future with other rappers, freestylers, all the things we've talked about today. Today was a beautiful experience. This is something for my bucket list. You guys know I'm a traveler, right? Me and Don went to the Great Wall of China. I've seen the pyramids of Chichen Itza, but this is one of the highest things on the bucket list. So I'm very grateful, very gracious. My man, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, brother.
My pleasure.
Yes,
for
sir.
the both of you, man.
Yes. Yes. Oh man, I feel like because I was stressed out, you guys. My voice is crazy. I'm not getting sleep. My daughter was sick this week. You guys, we here. It's done. Like, share, and comments on all the content. Let us know what you honestly think. Subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna try to do some more content with Supernat, and we'll see what we post. So, you guys, we out of here. 40.
Thank you for being some man. 40 years down the road, back again. 40.